Hello and welcome to marketing91.com. In this video, we are going to cover the topic on intrinsic motivation. Before we proceed any further, please do note that we publish 3 marketing and management videos daily on YouTube. So please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Now let's start with the definition of intrinsic. Intrinsic is a term that refers to something that is naturally ingrained. It is also called the inner at times. Inner is something that emerges from inside. Moving on, what is intrinsic motivation? Intrinsic motivation is doing something without any outer benefits. It is done because it is interesting and enjoyable. There is no external pressure or an incentive for doing this, like a deadline or reward. Intrinsic motivation is what stimulates changing or adopting behavior for one's fulfillment or satisfaction. This motivation makes a person do something for inner purposes which satisfies them personally. They are not motivated from the outside, that is the possibility of gaining an outer reward, such as the monetary reward. Moving on. For intrinsic motivation, the stimulant for doing something is the task itself. Example, when someone watches a movie, usually they are motivated by the wish to see the movie itself. This is not done for an outer reward. Or, if someone has a hobby of collecting coins, then it is not done by buying something later. Just collecting the coins is pleasurable itself. Moving on. Intrinsic motivation theory. The most well-known intrinsic motivation theory referred to people's drives and needs at first. Hunger, thirst and sex are biological needs that must be met to be able to alive and have good health. Along with these biological needs, there are also psychological needs. They have to be met to grow and do well. The need for relatedness, autonomy and competence are examples of psychological needs. In addition to meeting the psychological needs, intrinsic motivation also involves finding and doing things that are interesting, challenging, self-satisfying without there being the scope for any outer reward. Moving on to advantages of intrinsic motivation. First, a feeling of competence when gaining expertise in a new skill or task. Next, a feeling of accomplishment when succeeding at something. Third, a feeling of belonging when doing an activity in a group. And finally, finding some meaning when one mentors someone or participates in a non-profit activity. Moving on, intrinsic motivation versus extrinsic motivation. Let's start with the meaning. Intrinsic motivation comes from the inside. Intrinsic motivation makes one do something only because it is satisfying and enjoyable. On the other hand, extrinsic motivation makes do something for rewards. This could be averting problems, as in getting fired, or receiving something in return, that is cash payments. Next, inspiration. The task is done as it is internally rewarding. It is satisfying, enjoyable fun. On the other hand, for extrinsic motivation, the task is done in exchange for a reward. Next, aims. Intrinsic motivation. These aim goals come from within and the outcome of it meets basic psychological needs for relatedness, competence and autonomy. Extrinsic motivation. Goals are derived by the outcome and the motivation does not come from within. These goals do not meet the psychological needs. External gains like avoiding consequences, power, fame or money are the goals. Example, painting because it is fun and satisfying. Participating in a competition because one enjoys it. Extrinsic motivation. Painting for fame and money. Participating in a competition to get medals. Moving on, factors that promote intrinsic motivation. First, curiosity. Curiosity encourages one to discover and learn only for the sake of learning and gaining expertise. Next, challenge. A challenge pushes one to work at their best capacity and achieve goals that mean something. Third, control. To control things' inherent desire. Human wants to control the decisions affecting the results. Next, recognition. Humans have an internal need to be appreciated. They derive satisfaction when their efforts are recognized and valued by others. Next, competition. Competition creates challenges, it helps one focus on doing well. And finally, fantasy. This is about using virtual or mental images to inspire action. Example, a video game makes one solve puzzles to get to the next level. Certain motivation apps use a similar method. Next, internal motivation benefits for employee and employer. First, responsibility. If someone reaches a managerial position, they are paid more than their colleagues or juniors. Some people have other reasons to become managers and are not driven by increased salary. Some people like to take on responsibilities to become an inspiration for others, make them do better, push them to fulfill their personal ambition and goals, and have a corporate career. Next, recognition. Many firms conduct rewards and recognition programs and have award ceremonies that give out paid vacation leaves or monetary prizes. However, workers driven by intrinsic motivation are fine with only being regarded as valued employees of the firm over achieving monetary rewards. Next, knowledge. For some workers, a powerful intrinsic motivation is to gain more knowledge. They want to understand their field better and develop their skills. And finally, accomplishment. Some people feel proud and accomplished when they assist others. They do not want any other rewards. Moving on. How to increase intrinsic motivation? 4 simple steps. First, motivation should be evaluated. Second, one should pursue their passion. Third, one has to influence their surroundings. And finally, they must let go of their desire for rewards. Looking at some examples of intrinsic motivation. Participating as a volunteer because it is fulfilling and not because education or profession requires it. Next, exercising to challenge one's body and not to get into shape for an outfit. Third, keeping house office clean for satisfaction and to avoid disappointing the partner and boss. And fourth, learning to speak a new language because it is fun and not because the job profile requires it. Looking at a real life example of Elon Musk. What keeps Elon Musk motivated? As stated by Elon Musk while interacting with the National Governors Association, the thing that drives me is that I want to be able to think about the future and feel good about that. So that's it, folks. This brings an end to the topic on intrinsic motivation. These are some of the sources and links that I used in the content. If you've liked the video, do subscribe to our channel where you'll witness 3 new videos daily. Additionally, if you want to view these videos in an organized manner, you can visit freecourses.net where all our videos are arranged in the form of courses. Thank you and see you in the next video.